Morning, John.
Morning, Frankie.
Afternoon or evening, man, whatever it is.
We'll morning because it's good evening here. It's here.
It is.
It's
What time? So. It's half. I nearly said 4:30. It's 14:30. So I have to here. But most of the Bears are watching from the UK. So no sugarcoating it. That was as bad as I've seen in a long time because there's a lot of comments saying that's the worst I've ever seen. I see the 4 years we're in our low leagues. I don't count them. Right, because I hate thinking about it. But I look back to when I watched Rangers with John Gregg, and Mr. Gregg wasn't a good manager, and that's fine. He's moved on and all that. Some of the players in, I'm not like Carrie Fraser and Hugh Burns, people have elevated them as if they're superstars back then. They were crap, but they worked hard every game. That was the thing.
Well, this is true. I mean, I watched that team as well. We went through all the years that we were nearly men back then, you know what I mean? We nearly won the treble and we nearly won the league and we won a few cups here and there, but at the end of the day, we were chasing the league to be champions and it didn't happen. And here we are again, sitting in 2026 and what have we won? One league out of about, 20 maybe? 15, 16?
Oh, God, it's horrible, whatever it is.
It's like a Groundhog Day, you know. We wake up to this, and now I think the support have been browbeaten that much now. It's no new, you know what I mean? It's like every day now. It's like this is what it's like being a Rangers supporter.
I know it's been like that for years now. Look, we were saying off. What was I saying? Sorry, I was going to stutter there. The first half. And I'm comparing it to the start of the season. I was like, that was all right. I kind of semi-enjoyed it. And I thought, okay, right. And let's be honest, that penalty wasn't a penalty. We'd be moaning if that was us. That had shades of the Hibs penalty, you know, because nobody shouted for it. And you're like, what was that for? And it was one that, anyway, we got it. But remember in the 21st, we were talking the 21st minute, the young Japanese guy come down the wing, beat a few players, swung it in and it went across the 6-yard line. And the two strikers were about the penalty box. You know, aye.
Yep. They seem to be a desire to get in the right positions, you know, in the box.
I know.
You know, the strikers should be busting their arse to get in there. As soon as they see that boy breaking to the line, they've got to be in there. There's got to be a presence in there, and we don't seem to have it. We're like 5 yards behind that, just getting there.
I know.
Just as it's getting cleared.
I know. But what did you think of the first half as a whole?
Look, I thought the first half was what we probably would have took before the game started, right? We would have been happy to be going in there with a tie level at half time. With another 45 minutes to push it over the line. And what came out in the second half was just, I don't know, it's as if we gave up. And this is a thing that's been levelled the last few games that we did it at Tannadice. We got ourselves back in the game at Tannadice, and then all of a sudden we just gear up again. It's as if we just go, right, that's fine. We'll get a draw out of this. You know?
I know. And we're saying we've got submitted at the weekend, and we were saying off air, and this is an all too familiar conversation in podcasts. This thing about teams are now not scared to come to Ibrox. It's been like that for years. And we said, I'm contradicting myself. I remember when the low leagues, Ali set up not to lose against something like Brecon. And it's been like that ever since. People, the Fortress Ibrox thing's long gone.
Well, you've got to think if you're at St Mirren, you're thinking you're going to do this on Sunday. You know what I mean? They're coming here as the cup holders as well. You know, that's another thing.
That's right, yeah.
You know, so they'll not be wanting to get up as easy. They've had a good start to the season, whereas we've not had a good start to the season. So it's getting the makings it's a do or die game really for us for the season.
It's mad to think that, and it's that second half substitutes. Asgar got off, and I thought that must be an injury, and then he brought on Barron. I'm like, all right, okay. I'm a firm believer at this stage in the McInnes era. If it's working, don't fix it. That first half was working. Just keep doing that. Keep doing it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if you're a brickie, a joiner, an electrician, a mechanic. If it works, don't fix it. And that was like, it was so bizarre. So bizarre.
But then we don't know if he's picked an injury up. You know what I mean? We don't know that yet. Nobody's sort of come out and explained it. I just find like yourself, very bizarre to bring Ross McCrory on for them. You know,
Aye.
you're sitting with a bench full of midfield players.
That's the thing. I know. See, another one that's doing the rounds. Are Rangers unfit?
Well, we had a wee chat in the group chat, and I was saying, you know, I think we mentioned Raskin, and I says, well, we need to cut him a bit of slack because he's not really had a break.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently had 3 weeks off, right? But he said 3 weeks off, but he's not done a pre-season. So it kind of counteracts one. You know, one cancels out the other. Gets a 3 week rest, but then he's come back, and all the rest of them have supposedly had a pre-season. And like you said, they look unfit. They really look second to every ball.
And here's the thing, going back to Asgard, Cameron was sitting there ripe and ready. That was a 1-for-1.
I just think there's something about that boy, Cameron. And I think the signing policy at the time was to try and sign, you know, these, you know, pay a development fee for these boys, Scottish boys. And we signed that boy. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player, right? But I don't think he's what we should be signing at Rangers. You know what I mean? If we're going to sign guys like that just to have them about the place and eat a wage, well, I'm sorry, but I think you're better, you know, clubbing 4 or 5 of their players. They're not contributing anyway. They're not getting games. So if you bundled all their wages together and signed somebody that's going to, you know, give you something.
I know. But I mean, we saw the PSV chap. He was in the upstairs in the club deck. Obviously, his representatives. He must have been watching that, thinking, for sake. But people have said he might have saw that, thought, I'm out here, I'm not signing. But for me, as big a shit show we are, if he did that, I'd be quite happy not to have him, because it means he can't handle the pressure.
I think he'll be here. I think these transfers are. I mean, he's come out and done the medical, okay, but still has the, you know, they've no sort of crossed the T's and dotted the I's, I don't think, but I don't know, but then you never know, you know, transfers break down at the last minute. I just think we should be nailing these players down right away to get them signed, and that's it.
I think it's his visa more than anything, and that's like you yourself. You do the visas, I do visas. It can be. It won't be Rangers end. It'll be the office, as in Glasgow, you know, up at Buchanan Street, or it's behind the bus station. It'll be that. It's not. This won't be on Rangers. We've got lawyers, and it'll be an agent that does his visa. Cause, like I say, I've got 2 passports full of visas, and usually it's an agent. And Rangers will obviously have a relationship with somebody and all that. But it doesn't mean we skip the line. But that'll be like you say. It's a stroke the T's, dot the I's, and all that stuff. But and people are saying, comments about him. Players are signing for 2-3 years, and they know it's just a blip. It's a dip. Hopefully, it's a dip. So it's that. But Penrice today, I think it's pretty set in stone. Fabrizio put it out. He signed. I think you're quite. You were pro him, weren't you? You're quite happy with him.
Well, look, I was pro fullbacks because. We got into that European game last night with 3 defenders, really. You know, 3 sort of defenders of note. Okay, we could have shoved Ross McCrory in there if we wanted to, and had a back 4, right? I think he went with the right formation to start the game. The 3 at the back, right? Where I thought it falls down again, and you're gonna you know what's coming, is we've got Gassama starting the game, right? Now. He has a half decent first half, right? Where was he in the second half? Missing. I said to my boy the day, we were talking about the game of the day, I was talking with my son, and I said, if you were to go back to every game that Gassama has started for Rangers, how many of those games do you reckon we won?
That could be.
You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a frightening statistic.
Derek, just to cover, King, whatever your name is, we're not saying he's a fullback. We're not saying he's a fullback. But I know he flatters to deceive a bit. I mean, he was all right. But I'd like to say, we need to get rid of him. If somebody's coming in and giving us double the money. Right?
We say he's all right, okay, right? What did he really do in that game that Finlay Curtis couldn't do? You know what I'm saying? And he's one of, you know, he's been brought through the academy, so we should really be pushing that boy and getting him as many minutes as we can possibly give him. Because when this Drush comes in, his minutes are going to go down.
Aye. That's it. Because you know we need two players for every position, and so that would be three in that position, and it's three so-called strong players. I think it's you want two first teamers, then somebody just knocking on the door. Derek McInnes did not play Gassam as a fullback last night. um, my main worry is, I know that's the other thing. Our goal was from a penalty. We just do not see once the ball gets to 25 yards out, we don't know what to do.
It's alarming, actually. You know, you saw the one in the second half where Shankland in the area, you take it, I take it. Nobody knew what was happening, and then all of a sudden they just skipped the ball and cleared the ball. You know what I mean? It's as if they've not been. It's as if they just met last night.
Aye.
You know.
I know. I mean, is this too heavy for McInnes and Shankland? I mean, is it a dip before the start? You know, is it a dip at the start? It's Shank. We were right to sign Shankland, absolutely no doubt. And like you've said, like we're talking about Shankland. You know what we said off screen. You think the captaincy's maybe an issue?
Well, I think he was under a lot of pressure to come here, right? Because although we didn't pay any transfer fee for him, right? It's been in the media for seasons. Rangers will sign Shankland. Rangers should sign Shankland. And the boy's a Rangers fan. He's been desperate to get to Ibrox. And now all of a sudden he gets to Ibrox. And the first thing we do is we make him the captain. You know, as if it's not bad enough. He's got to come in and start hitting the ground running and scoring goals. Now he's the captain. So he's taking he'll cop all the flack shortly if the results don't go get turned around. They're going to be on his back saying, "Where's your leadership?" You know.
I know. And the recruitment team, I would sack them the day. Because let's be honest, getting scouts or there's plenty of people out there. Bomber knows, Soonest knows. You go watch Sky Sports News, you'll see players, you know, maybe not quite as simple as that. Finding players is not difficult at all. But it's the fact that we are trusting those two ball bags and whoever else is to do it. They need sacked today. Because listen, you know yourself, John, the tide has turned on what's his name, Purdue and Thelwell, and we all know how that ends.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I don't know what they're doing with players. You know, it's like other teams seem to find nuggets. They go to the weirdest of places. And I mean, look at Hearts with this analytics thing, right? I'm not saying we should go down that route, but surely we've got enough ex-Rangers players, guys that can spot a football player. You know, I know that Neil Murray was doing it for a while. He was ex-Rangers and he was scouting players for Rangers and one or two other players, ex-players. So I don't know why we've stopped doing that.
Yeah, I know, and I'm pretty sure ex-players. Right, the player that's come into my mind for some reason, Stefan Kloss. Stefan Kloss is watching the German football, and he'll know how to get hold of Rangers and say, "Look, what about this kid or player?" You know, as we're saying, there's things like finding players is not difficult. That's the thing. But Jim Gillespie, he needs to sit down with Kavanagh and go, that's it. One of the comments I want to address. Dal, the problem with that, I mean, once it comes out that a player's not coming, I just forget him. Dal got an English Premiership player coming from Dal. He's not coming to Rangers if that happens. Because he's probably going to get a minimum of 25% more money than he would get at us, and it's English Premiership. So I'm not holding that one against Rangers too much.
Yeah. Look, I just think we're going on about two players for every position, right? We're getting into a European game last night with no fullbacks. We've got no right backs. Well, I know Sterling's a right back, right? But you can't rely on him to play every week. You know what I mean? Romans is out. That was my biggest fear at the start of the season because I looked at the left back position and thought, who we got as cover for left back? Nobody. And all of a sudden, he's out for 8 weeks, right? So now we've got no left back. So now we're scrambling about trying to get left backs in. And it's like you said, all these clubs are just going to put the price up.
And the Dairy, he looked promising last year. He looked lost. He looks totally doesn't know what he's doing. Is that coaching though, or is it him?
I don't know. I don't know if he's at the level. You know, he's came for German second division. We spent a lot of money on him. I mean, we spent just under 5 million on him in a January window. to try and win a league, and then it didn't happen. Miovski, again, not getting game time, so I don't know what the goal is with him. It's alarming, actually. It's alarming.
It is alarming. I mean, it will get good, but the thing is, there's comments, and I'm just banning the people that say this. I'll be shooting them. Get rid of the Americans. Number one, you can't because they own the club. But the thing is, the actual Americans, the 49ers, they've got nothing to do with the day-to-day running of Rangers. They have no say in it. They just provide the money. Yes, Kavanagh is American, but he doesn't know anything about football. He relies on Jim Gillespie and all that. But there's starting to be a lot of noise about him now. And for me, John, that means Jim Gillespie needs to knock his door a day or phone him or whatever, however it is, Skype him and say, listen, we need to buck our ideas up. I want those two gone and I want more money. And here's players here. I've phoned Souness, I've phoned whoever, say, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, make it happen. Give me the money to do it. That's what I think needs to be done today.
Oh, I think you're right in a sense, but we need to remember Jim Gillespie's just got his feet under the table himself. He's just in the door, and these guys like Dan Purdy and Fairwell Jr. They've been in place since way before Jim Gillespie got there, and it'll be the old thing. They'll be sitting with contracts. I mean, his dad's came in there. I reckon they've just ring fenced everybody with good contracts. To get rid of them, it might be, employment law and all that's like, you can't just say, you know what, mate, there you go, see you later. I know it'll eventually come to that, but how we get to that point, I don't know. That's Jim Gillespie's job, you know what I mean? He needs to do it.
But now that's it, like you say, he's just in the door. But the thing is, when you work at that level of business and all that, you're supposed to come in and hit the ground running. And let's be honest, he's a Glasgow boy, he's a Rangers fan, he knows exactly what's going on at Rangers. So he'll know, but at the same time, as you say, it's not that simple. Employment law and all that, and you need to bite the bullet. Like, if we have to pay them off, it's like 6 months' wages, which could be heavy 6 figures. I mean, does that count against financial fair play? I mean, that's something I probably not. I don't know.
I really don't know much about that, to be honest with you.
Me too. But the Americans out thing, because John, I remember 15 years ago that it was Valentine's Day when, ironically, my wedding, when I met the Mrs. Date and all 20 odd years ago, and then that happened. We were it was absolute hell. It was hell. The Americans have got us out of that because we had a nightmare 15 years ago. Those two BAMs from Greenock, Charles Green, Craig White's, and all that. We are now owned by the 8th richest, or people that are involved with this are getting 8th richest franchise. It's not going right. There's absolutely no way it's going right. But wanting rid of them, man, is just mental. Where do we go from there? You know what I mean? Because I've got no idea when they come. I've got no idea why they bought into us. But they don't like failure. That's the other thing.
I think they bought into us because we're an institution, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's like the problem with Rangers just now is we've sacked too many managers, and the managers' positions became a poison chalice. Simple as that. They come in, rinse and repeat, come round about Christmas time, we're behind Celtic in the league, we're out of the cup, and all of a sudden we're saying, right, we're looking at the following season, we'll get rid of him, and it's got to be another rebuild. We need to stop all this. But Derek McInnes has come in, and the way we're playing and the results, he's not doing himself any favours.
Because the thing for me, John, is you can come in, we're Rangers, we're supposed to have a high calibre player. Excuse me. You can rebuild, but you can also win at the same time. Every football team in the world right now, in the professional levels, has got 4 or 5 new players in, I would assume. And they all seem to work. I think somebody said Dundee United is more or less a full new team. I genuinely don't know. I mean, the Fraggles across the road, man, they seem to be doing all right from what I understand. This thing about they need time to bed in, we can win and rebuild.
I think before you sign players, right, you must have as you're a coach, you must have an idea in your head, right? This is the way my team's going to play, right? Whether it's a 3-5-2, a 4-4-2, 4-3-3, whatever. You then need to go, who's the best players that I want to fit into that's going to be my starting lineup? You start with your first 11 first, and then you work back the way to you. So if he gets injured, I can bring him in. He'll come in. I can shift him along there. It doesn't seem to be that. We've done that. We seem to be just chopping and changing positions all the time, and there's no continuity.
I know. Because that's it. We brought Derek McInnes in to get a Derek McInnes football team. Back to basics, simple football. Just we knew we were getting, but we've not seen that. That's it, as you've just alluded to.
See if you looked at his Hearts team last season, right? That team didn't change too much week to week. There was one or two positions. There was a couple of boys on the bench. They would come off the bench maybe with half an hour to go, or if it wasn't working, then one of them would come into the game in the second half. His team never really changed last season. He had the same back four. It's just like continuity, and look what it got them. Granted, we were shit, Celtic were shit, so they got away with that one last season. But by all accounts, they're carried on this season, Hearts.
I know. There we go. It's as simple as that.
Good.
That's what I'm reading. I mean, I was going to say, does Derek McInnes survive this? He'll still be here at the end of the season unless we lose 5 games in a row. Because look, there's people wanting McInnes out, which I'm sure you understand. I understand, but it's not going to happen. If we get rid of McInnes after 4 games, everyone's going to look at that we want to bring in like, fuck that. What the hell am I going to go near that?
We need to give him the whole season. You know what I mean? Unless it's ridiculous, unless we're like 20 points behind and out the cup. You know what I mean? If we're in that state, then you've got to look at it, and then the fans won't turn up. And as soon as the fans stop turning up, that's when change will happen.
Yeah,
but here we are. We're only 3 games in, 4 games in. We're talking about changing the manager. Nah, I'm not on that. I understand why people say it. I mean, what does McInnes change? I mean, do you think it could be the place? I can't say this. I'm not giving anything away. I'll tell you in the WhatsApp more. I know somebody at Ibrox now. Really, I know somebody at Ibrox now that's at both the stadium and the training ground. He says, see when the cameras are there with the Rangers TV, they're all jovial and all that. That's not real. He says he just sees what he sees at the training ground is what he sees in the pitch. Yeah.
And that's worrying. He says, when you see Raskin, when they know the Rangers TV are there, they're playing to the cameras. That's not what their attitude's like when the camera's off. That's what I've been told.
Well, I watched a thing yesterday, and Barry Ferguson was on it, and he said that when he went in last season, when he went into that interim spell, he couldn't believe it at the training ground. He says it wasn't just the players that were depressed. He says all the kitchen staff, the laundry woman, the groundsman, they were all walking about as if the whole club was on a downer. He said that he wanted to lift all that. Look, I think it's early, still early. Okay, we're out of Europe, right? Or we're at the Europa League, the Conference League. I don't know whether that's our level now. Seems it is. If we're in there having to qualify for it now. I know that guy's saying 25 behind. My biggest fear now is we've got the Old Firm first ones at Parkhead, and that's the end of the month. So we really need to get our act together before we go there.
Big time,
because they'll be licking their lips at the now that they've thought it.
I know. I mean, has McInnes been unlucky to an extent, do you think?
Well, you've got to say he's been unlucky with Termiti getting injured, and he's been unlucky with Romans getting injured, right? But this is where I've got to look at McInnes and go, he came into us and said he didn't want to be a coach, he wanted to be a manager, to manage things, right? I.e., to me, that means manage signings and be on the ball with the signings, right? For us, like I said, I keep going over all ground, but for us to get in that game last night when they left back, we're Rangers, you know what I mean? I can see, like Kilmarnock or somebody like that struggling for a left back because they can't afford to have 2 on the books. But we should have all their positions covered. It's no good.
When Derek came in, he said unequivocally, and because I wanted to hear him say basically said he gets final decision on a player. But then on Monday that kind of changed when we were told it's a collective, and you're like, You know what I mean? Because David Moyes famously said he doesn't allow if he goes to a club, it's his players, because he said, if I'm getting sacked, I want sacked for players that I picked, not some guy in front of a laptop and a spreadsheet. You know, and I believe that. All right, he's old school and all that, but still, it's the way it's the way it should be. But he has been a tad unlucky. He's not going anywhere. But what needs to change? And I think it's the attitude of the players. And John, sorry to interrupt you. I've been trying to remember this the whole thing. And if I keep forgetting, shit, on you go. I keep forgetting it's the most important thing I say. I keep forgetting. On you go, mate. Aye.
Look, I think we just need a win, right? We get a win. It doesn't matter how it comes. We win the game, and then we win the next game. You know what I mean? I think a win will give us a lift. It definitely give the players a lift, and hopefully gives the fans a lift. But we need to. This game on Sunday's a cup final for us. There's no two ways about it. This is a cup final. We're at home, and we really should be coming out the traps as if we mean business.
I mean, it's just keep your shape. I mean, how many? Hopefully there's 2 new signings a day, and if what the owner said, Mr. Kavanagh said is right, there's another 3, possible 3. We might even get more now, because it is our panic stations. That's the one, Derek. That's it. It's coming with John. Derek has said publicly a few times, I need more help. Is that him sticking into the Jim Gillespie? Is it him sticking into Kavanagh? Is it him sticking into the coaches? The scouts?
I take it as right, but what he needs to be careful about is, like, he keeps coming out with that and throwing it out, because they'll just turn on him and say, well, look, you've asked for players, we've gave you players, you know, this is what we've spent. How many more players do you need? You know what I mean?
I know.
You either prioritise and say, okay, right, we need a left back and a right back. That's the priority. I still think we need another centre back, because I don't think this Godfrey boy's he's going to be another Sterling. I think he's going to have a couple of games and then out for 3 or 4 and back in and have a wee straight here and a straight there.
You know? I know. There's one of your fellow, Scott, don't you, from Macadam? You know the Macadams, don't you? From Duke Street. That is a lovely family. Big Willie, William, Scott and Craig. Scott's in Perth, isn't he? Scott's Perth. Rangers support.
I was with Scott in Hong Kong at the OSA.
Brilliant, man. Hopefully I'm with you next year. Scott, and seeing as Scott's on, go to the Perth Rangers Support Club. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Go and find their Facebook. Same with John. Find Brisbane. I can do my fancy thing, John. Where is it? Where's the picture? Oh, I've got rid of it. Damn it.
That's all right. Camden.
There we go. Brisbane Rangers Supporters Club. Go and follow John's Brisbane Rangers Supporters Club on Facebook. Help get their numbers up and all that stuff. You know the score. You're all good people. John's great. Right, that's half an hour, John. I actually feel a bit better after that. So now I'm going to stress myself out even more trying to find tunes for this DJ set. And wait a minute. Somebody comments says I can ban this guy because there's a button there I can't. There we go. Off you fuck. Bye, Fraggle, you Fraggle face fuck pig. Sorry for swearing offence. Perth True Blues. There we go. Go and find the Perth True Blues. Like Scott, the McAdams, a brilliant family with a lot of beers with them in the Ali Bardo and Duke Street. Right, there we go, John. Morning therapy.
All right, mate.
It's not coffee anymore. It's bloody therapy, isn't it?
I know. I'll be hitting the gin later on. So
who dares gins, man?
On to Sunday. On to Sunday. The joys of being a Rangers supporter.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. But thank you for joining in.
Take it easy.
You too. But I'll talk to you in the WhatsApp, right? Cheers.
Yeah. All right, mate.